Like, I'm this and that for life. This and that for life. I'm always for life, nigga. This a blood oath. Hey, yo, Madara. Here go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I'll tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, sin and curse. We can't forgive what's forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty is a death sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind foot. They said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. The devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like bad pal. But ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. You take that oath, it's a Dundee. Try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times and it's death to us part. So how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go this zone. And the Lord said they hate you for my name. So you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing. Ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetty. Murder for capital 9, murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fuck 'em, raise it. I pity those watching life as it goes by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. In pump smoke, never try to. The dead at home, my brother be the dead, it's all I don't. Either fold or salute, my nigga. Salute, my nigga. They like, how you stay focused? I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. Now I never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she need me, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. So, how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go this zone. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead, clap it up. Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. And today is Tuesday. This is the Brotherhood scripture breakdown class where we teach one another how to have more brotherhood or sisterhood or how we are supposed to be with one another, okay? And like these classes are very important because that's something that we don't have in the world. We're not taught to have brotherhood and sisterhood. In the world, we are taught to get it at all costs. We are told to step on someone else just so we can get higher up, you know? And that's what our oppressor has taught us to do for so many years. And it's to the point now that we are blinded by the thought of, if I help this person get up, then I won't have it. Like, we are blind by that. And that's the problem, man. We should always have brotherhood and sisterhood, because us having brotherhood and sisterhood will get all of us out of hell together. And that's what we need. We need to get everybody out of hell together. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, not just ourselves, not just me and my people that I chill with all the time, but everybody. And that's what we are teaching here in these brotherhood scripture breakdown classes. Let's go to Romans 2:11 first. Let's start there, man. Just go ahead and let me know once you have it. Because like today is just going to be about respect. It's going to be about respecting your brother and your sister, and how far, you know, if you respect someone, how far that can go, man. If you, not according to what the world standards is, but according to the scriptures, respecting someone according to the scriptures it'll take you way further than respecting someone according to what the world standards is, man. Go ahead and let me know once you got it. If you got it, go ahead and read.
Romans 2:11.
Okay, let me see. Let's go ahead and say something.
Test.
All right. Salakia, just hold on real quick. Mic check. Did you hear the brother?
Test.
All right. You should be too old.
Romans 2:11. For there is no respect of persons with God.
Read that one more time.
For there is no respect of persons with God.
Understand this, man. A lot of times we were taught in the world to have respect as a persons. We was taught that, just because this person might be more well off or this person might be, a high ranking person, I'm supposed to have the utmost respect for them, and this person is below me, so I shouldn't have no respect for them. There's no respect when it comes down to the Most High. Like the scripture is letting you know, for there is no respect of person with the Most High. And the generals show us this all the time, man. Like, Commanding General YAHANNA and the generals are the highest ranking people in the school, the highest ranking priest that's in the school that held on to this truth to teach us. And they still show us every time that they don't sit here and have respect as a persons, because when they're teaching us, when they're talking to us, when they need something from us, they're not sitting here telling us, hey, I'm Commanding General YAHANNA, go do what I told you to go do. No, they will sit here and be like, hey, Slakia, if you don't mind, could you go do this for me, please, Baba Kashan? General Muhammad does this all the time. It don't matter who he's talking to. I've seen him talk to little kids. I've seen him talk to babies. And I'm talking about 3-4-year-old little kids and be like, hey, well, come here, princess. Or come here. How are you doing today? Well, do you mind taking a photo? You want to take a photo? Okay, let's take a photo. Hey, Baba Kashar, if you don't mind, could you take a photo for me real quick? He's not talking we all know that the generals are the highest ranking men, deserve the utmost respect. But in their mind is, I deserve death. And I'm going to treat everybody like they're my brothers and my sisters, not like they're beneath me. Because it doesn't matter what your rank is, you should never treat someone like they're beneath you. Because you wouldn't want Christ to treat you like you're beneath him. That's one of the key things when it comes down to brotherhood and sisterhood that we have to understand. It does not matter what your rank is. Respecting someone, and at the end of the day, if you are a high-ranking man, even though you show the utmost respect for other people, people are naturally going to respect that. And this goes for the brothers that y'all getting into the school and y'all getting more rank. Understand this: when y'all get that rank, still be humble, still be loving and caring to your own brothers and your own sisters. For y'all sisters, some of y'all been in the school for years, some of y'all just coming into school. But you should never act like you are better than someone, because at the end of the day, we all deserve death because we all sinned. The Lord sees brothers and sisters. Yes, he has a rank and order structure for a reason, because that's what needs to be had. We need the generals to be up there. We need the captains to be right there. We need the officers to be down here. We need the troopers to be down here. We need the young men and the sisters and the kids. We need everybody. But at the same time, just because we have the rank does not mean that you turn up your nose at someone that might be below you in rank or below you just because, oh, I'm an officer of 5,000. I could treat you as a young man or a trooper like nothing. Like, no. Because at the end of the day, when judgment day comes, I wouldn't want Christ to treat me like I treated you that day. I wouldn't want him to treat me like nothing. I don't want Christ to say, depart from me because I never knew you. Because of how I treated someone, having respect as a person. And like I said, the generals show that. They show that every time. Like, it's amazing sometimes to just sit back and watch how the generals interact with people. Because you like we have the shock factor, like, man, these are generals. Like, man, the only thing they got to do is snap a finger and it's on. But the generals are sitting here humble. They're sitting here like, they tell us all the time, man, like, I love being around y'all. And we like, Salaki said, I love being around you. Like, I'm trying to get like you. He like, nah, y'all are what keeps this going. They respect us so much because we're keeping it going, and we respect them so much because they're who held on to it. So at all times, you should have respect for one another, man. Even though you have the rank and order in the school, you should treat each other with brotherhood and sisterhood, man. If you have respect only for certain people, that causes discord. It causes division. Because at the end of the day, if, say for instance, 2 officers of 5,000 gave you an order, and you like, well, you know, man, Officer Tazadak nicer than Officer Aran, man. So you know what? I'm gonna follow what Officer Tazadak said do, and I'll do what Officer Aran said do later on. Like, okay. Salakia. So if that's the case, hold on. So when that happens, if you decide to do that, when you decide to do that, you are causing division because you feel like automatically, just because Officer Aram might not be as nice to me, there's already a division line between us right then and there, because you have a grievance against me that you haven't talked to me about. And because you feel like I'm hard on you so much, now orders is not being followed the way that they needed to be followed because you feel like, oh, okay, one's nicer than the other. And at that point, that's division. Because what I might be telling you to do at that time needs to be first, because that's the most important thing. But because you have a grievance with me and you haven't talked to me about it, you haven't, you just feel a certain way with me, now all of a sudden something is lacking. The work is not being done because at this point in time, you have respect for Officer Tazadak more than you have respect for me, when the work needs to be respected first. That's the only thing that matters, is this work. It's this truth, getting the work done here in the I.S.U.P.K. So we cannot have respect as a persons, because when you do, then work does not need, it don't get done. Of course, we have a rank and order structure. Follow rank and order. We all know to respect the rank and order and follow rank and order. But at the same time, do not have respect as a persons, because when you do, then you starting to blind yourself to certain things because you are no longer seeing clearly, because you're thinking based off of, okay, do I like this person or do I not like this person? That's what Christianity is for. That's what the Christian church is built based off of. Respect as a persons. Because everybody respects the pastor. Everybody respects the deacons. Everybody respects, but you know what? I ain't got no respect for the ushers. I ain't got no respect for, and that's why it's so much division. That's why they teach that in the Christian church. The Christian church is the number one place where division is at, because it's too much stuff that goes on in the Christian church, and they are divided from the beginning, and they trying to make themselves seem like they're together, but really and truthfully they can't, because it's too much funny stuff. One pastor might not like the other pastor, so one deacon might not like the deaconess, one usher don't like the other usher, so, and then one singer don't like the other singer, so they battling in the middle of church, and now you can't. What are you really there for? You really there for the circus show. You're not there to learn nothing. Here in the I.S.U.P.K, we are here to teach. When you come here, you are here to learn. And if you will have respect as a person, most 9 times out of 10 is because you have a grievance with someone that you haven't took to them. And when you have a grievance, go to Matthew 18 and 15. This is what you should do. If you find yourself having respect as a person, you need to first get counsel on the matter. And you need to figure out why you have respect, so much respect for this person, but not this person. And once you figure that out, you need to take it to the person that you have less respect for, and you need to talk to them. Maybe there's a grievance. Maybe there's something that happened years ago, and you just never talked to the brother about it or talked to the sister about it. So now all of a sudden, you just don't like this person, or you don't like how they move because they move funny to you. But really and truthfully, there's something hidden down deep that you haven't even dealt with yet. Go ahead and read it.
Matthew 18:15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
See, when you feel like you have, like, if somebody's ever offended you, somebody ever made you feel less than, then what you need to do is you need to take it to them and them alone. You need to take it to them and be like, hey, Shalaka, brother, you know, the other day when me and you, we were sitting here chopping it up, man, like you said something, and I really took it disrespectfully. And you give that brother an opportunity to show you brotherhood and hearing you out. How do you know when someone has heard you out? Do you know how you know if someone heard you out?
Because they're right there in front of you. You done told them what you had, what was on off your chest.
That's not how you know if someone heard you out. You know if someone heard you out if I sit here and say Salakia. You know I heard you out then. Because if you told me, if you brought a grievance to me and I sat here and was like, I hear you, brother, but I told you to do that anyway. And you'd be like, well, what you said to me really offended me. And I'd be like, well, if you was offended by it, all right, well, but I told you to go get that done, so get that done. Did I really hear you out? But I sat here and I was in front of you and I was listening to you. I told you I heard you, but did I really hear you out?
No.
And the reason why you know I didn't hear you out is because what?
Because you didn't say Salaki.
Right. If someone really heard you out, they're trying to squash the grievance. They're going to be like, hey, you know what, brother? If I offended you in any way, you know, Salakia. I just knew for a fact that this needed to get done, and I needed you to move with urgency. And you could have been like, okay, I understand that. And next time I'll make sure I move with urgency. Appreciate you, you know, the water for listening to me. But it said, moreover, go ahead and keep reading.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Keep reading.
If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
If I say Salakia, after you told me I offended you, I gained you as a brother. Because now the division between me and you is now done. Keep reading.
But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
Understand this, man. And this is stuff that we have to understand and have to do. If you sit here and bring a grievance to me, and I don't sit here and say Salakia, your job is to take me to counsel. Your job is to take your sister to counsel. Your job is to take your other brother to counsel because they didn't hear you out. So you need somebody to mediate the conversation and listen to both sides of the conversation so that way everything can be established. That's how you cut the division between brothers and sisters here in the school, man, and here in the world, period, point blank. A lot of plex, a lot of beef, a lot of fights happen because people don't agree. And when people don't agree and someone feels like their feelings have been hurt, they don't talk about it. They just go run and grab a gun, or they go run and grab a knife, or they just go run and go talk to someone else, and someone else pump their head up to go do something, and now they're looking at jail time, looking at football numbers. That's the biggest problem that we have is no brotherhood. Brotherhood is taking someone to counsel. A lot of people don't like counsel. A lot of people feel like counsel is you snitching on me. No, I'm trying to gain you as my brother. You disrespected me. And I'm letting you know that you disrespected me. And you not hearing me, that's cool. Now, let's go to the high-ranking man and see what the high-ranking man has to say. And at that point, everything should be established. And he's going to give a verdict on who was right and who was wrong. But if you don't want to listen to that, keep reading.
And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church.
Right. Keep reading.
But if he neglects to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican.
Right. So this is what happens. I done sat here and talked to you. You didn't want to hear me out. I took you to counsel with a high-ranking man. The high-ranking man told you that you was wrong and that you needed to say Salakia. You still felt like you wasn't wrong, so you still not saying Salakia. So at this point, now we're going to major council with the generals. Now we're going to have to bring the generals into the mix for a council. And if the generals say, Ak, you are wrong, and you need to tell this brother Salakia. And you be like, hey, Salakia, sir, I don't feel like I'm wrong. No sweat, Ak. If you don't feel like you're wrong, no sweat. We're here in the I.S.U.P.K, we don't deal with that. If you take it to the church, which is the generals, and the generals say that you're wrong, and you still feel like you wasn't wrong on the matter, you just said that what I feel is more important than everybody else that sees that I'm wrong. Instead of me taking accountability for me being wrong on this subject, I'd rather sit here and be a heathen. Are heathens allowed in the I.S.U.P.K?
No.
Like, are the other nations, is the African allowed in the I.S.U.P.K?
No, sir.
Is the white man allowed in the I.S.U.P.K?
No, sir.
Is the Chinese man allowed in the I.S.U.P.K?
No, sir.
When you don't hear your brother and you don't hear the captains that are above you, and then you don't hear the generals, you have put yourself in a category as a heathen. You have put yourself in a category as the Edomites, the Africans, the Chinese. You have put yourself on the outside looking in because your pride is too big to sit here and gain your brother, especially if you're wrong. So you rather die behind you being wrong than for you to just apologize, which could save your soul, save your life. That is not brotherhood. Apologizing is brotherhood. Hearing your brother out, hearing your sister out, hearing one another out is it. That is brotherhood. That is sisterhood. That is love. That's showing love according to what you will want Christ to show to you. Matter of fact, I dropped that. Let's go to Matthew 22 and let's start at verse 36. 22 verse 36, man. Because what we're going to teach on today, like I said, we're teaching about respect, man. We're teaching about respect is because if we have respect for one another, a lot of things could be established. A lot of things can be resolved. We could win more of the battles if we have respect for one another, and we will sit here and do everything according to what the Bible says to do as brothers and sisters in Christ, man, as the 12 tribes of Israel. Go ahead and read.
Matthew, verse 22. Well, Matthew 22, verse 36. Master, which is the great commandment and law? In the law.
Keep reading.
Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
Understand this. Now, this is the first commandment, man. That you love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, and all thy mind. That is what we are supposed to do. We're supposed to love the Most High. And by loving the Most High means that we are following what?
The law, statutes, and commandments.
The law, statutes, and commandments. That's how we show our love, that we love the Most High with all our heart, all our mind, and all our soul. By us following the law, statutes, and commandments, having brotherhood, having sisterhood, looking out for one another, loving on one another, helping one another. Keep reading.
This is the first great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
You should love your brother or sister as yourself. Like, that's the second commandment. That's the second one. Right after love the Lord thy God with all that heart, mind, and soul, is love one another. Love everybody a part of the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Treat them the way that you would want to be treated. Give them the respect. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you to be a punk or a chump or anything like that, because a lot of times that's what our minds go to first. Our minds go to, oh, he want me to just be a punk or a chump. He want me to just sit here and bow down to someone, and I ain't bowing down to nothing. No, I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm telling you to do is love your brother and your sister like you will want to be loved. Give that same love, man, and see what happens when you do it. See what happens when you're not so prideful enough to show someone else love and respect and honor. See what happens. Because when you do that, you will see that a lot more things can be done, man. A lot more understanding will happen. You will be able to understand someone way better when you come to a conversation or you come to every situation with respect. You will naturally see it, because it will be blinding. Like, it's right there in your face. How can you sit here and you want to disrespect someone that's nothing but respectful to you? At that point, you have the demon. If you're just disrespecting someone and they're coming with all respect, it easily shows who has the demon. Because how are you gonna treat someone else? Hey, Salaki, I hurt your feelings, man. Man, I offended you. You know what, Salaki, man. I ain't mean that. What I was trying to say is I was trying to do this. And if I offended you, it ain't my fault, man. You my brother at the end of the day, dog. I ain't trying to sit here and cause strife between me and you. We got the work to be done. The reason why we respect one another here in the I.S.U.P.K. is because we know that the work has to be done. And the work can't be done when you have petty strife, petty division between brothers and sisters, and because I don't like the way that you're looking at me, or I don't like the way that you're handling this situation. I didn't like the way that you talk to me. Well, you know what? Let's talk about it so that way we can get this work done, man. Let's get this work. The Lord's will needs to be done. And the only way the Lord's will can be done is if we work together. So you want to know what? Man, you know what? Forget that pride, man. I put my pride to the side because there's work that needs to be done, man. If I offended you, Salakia. Is there anything else? Because at the end of the day, when we at camp, I need to know for a fact I can depend on you to watch my back. Camp is war. Camp is a battlefield. Camp is where someone can die. People have gotten hurt at camp. Do you think the Kentucky 8 could have made it back home if someone didn't like the other person that day? The Kentucky 8 wouldn't be the Kentucky 8 if someone had strife or there was a division between all the brothers that was out there. Because there might have been a time a brother wouldn't, okay, I wouldn't have blocked this because this brother sat here and talked to me wrong this day. So you know what? I ain't finna block this punch that coming for the back of this brother's head that he don't see. Like, how can the work be done in this division, man? The mission to Acuna would not have happened if there was division between the brothers that was there. Because if you didn't go and you ain't caravan perfectly, if you didn't go down these dark cartel roads perfectly with brotherhood in mind, you could have made one wrong move and everybody could have died. And that's why you need to love your neighbor as yourself. Because at the end of the day, we all have to do the work, man. And if we say we love the Most High, we say we love Christ, we say we love everything, then we should be able to love one another. If you can't do that, then you're lying to yourself and you are a hypocrite. We need to love one another. So let's go ahead and drop that out. Is there any more on that? Matter of fact, keep reading. Verse 40. Yeah, Matthew 22, verse 40.
On these two commandments hang all the law and prophets.
Understand this. If you can do these two laws, if you do these two commandments, all the rest of the laws, it all falls in line with this. Everything that you're supposed to do, not eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, not sit here and be a whoremonger, not sit here and be a whore, not whoring out your people, not stealing and robbing and killing your people. What do all those things have in common? You loving your neighbor as you're loving yourself, man. You're sitting here showing love by not selling you drugs is me showing you love. Me not coming to kill you after you made me mad is me showing you love. Me not sitting here robbing you in front of your child is me showing you love. Me sitting here talking to you as a man to man, face to face, be like, say, brother, you offended me, is me showing you love. Me telling you eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster is wrong, is me showing you love. The Christian church does not love Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. That's right. And they show it. They allow homosexuals to be in their church. And I.S.U.P.K, we're not allowing that because we love you as our brother and our sister. If we see a man walk through these doors wearing a skirt, first and foremost, you getting checked outside. Shamar ain't letting you through the door like that. We're going to be like, say, hey, you got to put on some pants, man. If you want to come up in here and ask questions, put on some pants because you Akim. You're not an Akwath. You're not a sister. You're a man. The Most High made you a man. That's what you're going to be. Say, sis, I know you around here, you trying to be big dyking and all that other stuff. Nah, up in here, you're going to have to put on a dress. You're going to have to put on a skirt. Yeah, you're going to have to wrap that head up. Yeah, you're going to go ahead and put that head wrap on. That's love. That's loving your neighbor as yourself. To tell your neighbor what they're doing is incorrect. That's why in the I.S.U.P.K, we get checked. There's check-ins that happen in the I.S.U.P.K. because you're shedding yourself of the world when you first come into the I.S.U.P.K. So what you thought was okay at first was not okay. And that's why you had to be corrected on it. And that's brotherhood. That's loving your neighbor as you're loving yourself. Because if I was wrong, I would want somebody to check me and correct me. So what I'm going to do is, with respect, I'm going to check you and correct you. That's what the men above me has passed down. And I'm going to pass it down because that's what needs to happen. That's how you show yourself and love one another. That's how you love Christ. That's how you love the law, statutes, and commandments, by following them, correcting your brother and sisters, and going to them and them alone when you have a problem with them. That's the most important thing, man. Let's go to Matthew 7 and 12.
Matthew 7 and 12.
Yeah, let's go to Matthew 7 and 12. Go ahead and read it whenever you have it. Because, like I said, everything that we're going to do, everything that we're going to talk about today is about respect and about brotherhood and showing brotherhood and how and different ways for you to show brotherhood. This is the playbook. Like every Tuesday, we give you a playbook to further show brotherhood. And today is just like any other day, man. Any other Tuesday. But we're gonna talk about the respect. And we're gonna further get into the scriptures about this for you to see, all right, you know what? This is a self-check. Every Tuesday is a self-check. Every day is a self-check. Because if you don't check yourself every day, then you don't think that there's nothing wrong with you. You feel like you're perfect. And at the end of the day, there's demons that you have to fight every day. And the only way for you to be different is for you to know that you have demons to fight every single day. Go ahead and read.
Matthew 7, verse 12. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets.
Read it one more time for me.
Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you,
Right.
do ye even so to them.
Understand this and keep reading. For what? For this is what?
For this is the law and the prophets.
Understand this. This is the same thing. It's saying the same thing. Whatever you will want to be done to you, you do unto others. It's simple. It's right there. It's saying it for a reason. Treat others as you will want to be treated, man. Now keep reading.
Enter ye in the law, Salaki, enter ye in at the straight gates.
Right.
For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
Understand this, man. When it says enter ye into the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leads to destruction. What is that wide and broad way that leads you into destruction? What is that? Huh? Right. Being prideful and having all that worldly stuff, man. Understand this. Matter of fact, keep reading.
And there be which go in threat.
No,
and they're at.
No. It says that leads to destruction, and many there.
And many there which go in there at.
Right.
It's like.
No, we too well about it. But understand this. The next verse tells you, because when you are broad, like we all have the gate. We have a straight gate. Everybody had a plan. When you are showing brotherhood and sisterhood, when you come into the I.S.U.P.K, we all have a straight plan that we got to do, man. And the thing about it is, instead of being straight, we started off like this. We started going abroad, going to that wide gate. And what's that wide gate? The lust of this world, the sin of this world, the things that are not of our Father. We didn't go straight. Because if our ancestors and all our people went straight, there would be no reason for us not to be in the kingdom. We would all be in the kingdom. If none of us, just think about it like this. If none of us ever smoked weed, if none of us ever sold drugs, if none of us ever ate pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, crawfish, catfish, tuna, and anything like, if we've never sinned, why wouldn't we be in the kingdom? We would be in the kingdom by now. If our ancestors taught us and we kept the tradition going down all these years, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians knew exactly who they was. We kept the laws, statutes, and commandments, and we were being ye therefore perfect like our Father in heaven was perfect. The kingdom would be at hand. But instead of following and entering into that straight gate, man, we wanted to go into that wide and well, you know what? There's a little corner over there that's wider. So you know what? Let me go over there in that corner that's wider. Let me go over there where they got all them women around there in the strip club. Let me go over there. Oh man, the grass looking green over there. Man, this got this dirt road. I don't feel like walking through this dirt road, man. Let me go over here where this grass is green. And now you stuck in sin. Because you couldn't do the simple thing like have brotherhood, love the Lord thy God with all thy mind, body, and soul. Keep reading. You at verse 14.
Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way.
Which what?
Which lead us unto life. And few there be that find it.
Understand this, man. That straight path to righteousness, to life, is narrow, man. It's narrow, man. And a lot of people don't find it. And you want to know why a lot of people don't find it? Because they rather have millions of dollars. They rather have all this jewelry. They rather have all these women. They rather sit here and have all the cars, all the clothes, everything. They want to have pounds of weed. They want to have all the lustful things of this world. They rather do that. They rather be around the wide gate than that narrow path. That narrow path is life, man. You sitting here afraid to walk that tightrope. You rather walk the plank because it's wider steps to jump down into a shark tank than to try to walk this tightrope and be safe. Because you got the safety net right below you. Go ahead, Art.
So, like, if I may, because what you're saying is heavy, and that wide gate is also the Christian church. You know what I'm saying? Because, right. They say, come as you are. You know what I'm saying? You can go in there homosexual and leave a homosexual and nobody will judge you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they make it okay for you to, to be a sinner because they always preach that no one's perfect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just sow your seeds and let Jesus take the wheel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is a wide gate that leads our people to destruction. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people take that path.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're able to, stay in and do their iniquities, you know what I'm saying? And, still kind of,
right.
I'm serving God, you know what I'm saying?
Right. They're able to sin, and every first Sunday can go ahead and get some bread, get some communion, and all their sins has been washed away because you know what? I repented every first Sunday after I sat here and was a whoremonger or a whore all these times. And you know what? Right after church, they go right back and do the same thing, man. Y'all give that brother a hand, because that was spot on. That is the wide gate, man. Christianity is the widest gate that's been destroying people, our people, the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, for the longest time, man. For the longest time. But understand this, man. It's time for us to walk that tightrope, man. Let's walk this narrow path so that way we can get to life, man. Because there's going to be people that's going to turn their back on you. And you got to understand that is okay. That is okay for people to turn their backs on you. Because they're not going to understand your journey. They're not going to understand your path. Because it's a narrow path. You got to, maybe it might be one behind the other. Everybody can't walk their journey with you. There's some that will. But then some people that can't. It's not their time. And then for some people, it'll never be their time because they're too stuck in their own ways. Go ahead and keep reading that. Go to 15.
Beware,
Yeah.
yes, sir. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they have ravening wolves.
Right. You beware of them false prophets, man. See, what the brother brought out was so heavy, and he brought it out right before the precept, which makes it even better. Man, you know them Christian pastors are wolves in sheep's clothing. Inwardly, they are ravening wolves. They are ready to eat. And they've been eating on the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians for so long. The only thing they want to talk to you about is prosperity. Sow a seed. Sow a seed. Sow a $200 seed. You know what, brother? You've been going through so much. It's time for you to sow a $500 seed. Once you sow that $500 seed, the Lord will bless you and multiply that by abundance. And then you know what? After that, brother, when the Lord multiplies it and bless you by abundance, you need to come back here and sow a $1,000 seed. You know what? I know your name was Tyrone, but now your name is Taniqua. Hey, you know what? Taniqua, it is okay for you to be a woman even though you was built a man. No. Like, that's what the Christian church has taught. Society in the world that we live in has taught you that it's okay for a man named Tyrone to change his name to Taniqua, put on a dress, put on a skirt, have a couple surgeries, get some breast in box, and now all of a sudden that it's a girl. No, you will always be Ak. When you die, or if they check your bone and your bone marrow, it's gonna come back as you was a man. Why don't you just want to be that, man? Because society has brainwashed you. Society is the wolves in sheep clothing. Why do you think that they push the agenda of them every single day? Like, there was a point in time, like, homosexuals stayed in the closet. Now it's the point in time that they are so out the closet that it makes straight men not even want to go to the clubs no more. Because you don't know who you talking to. Like, you don't know who you talking to. The wolves in sheep's clothing. You go to a club just to have fun with your brothers. You just want to go out there and have fun with the Akim. Y'all want to go chill, get some drinks, listen to some good music. And all of a sudden, 10 she-hims walk up to you. 10 Akims dressed as women that done got some surgery done, done walked up to you and they trying to holler at you. You got to get to the point where you got to, it's gotten to the point, the wolves in sheep's clothing done got so bad with the homosexuality and all the stuff that's going on, you got to ask for more than an ID. You got to see the birth certificate. And that's crazy. You got to beware of the wolves in sheep's clothing. Beware of the society that says that it's okay. Man. Now, a lot of people are not going to like what we're saying right now, but this is because I love y'all. We love you so much that we're going to tell you to stop it. You don't like hearing us say it, but we're going to tell you, stop. Be who the Most High God created you to be. Stop sitting here saying, well, I was born in the wrong body. No, whatever body you was born in, that was what you're supposed to be. That was who you were meant to be. And we all have a journey, man. Be who you meant to be, not who you want to be. Go ahead and keep reading. All right, let's go to verse 16, Baba Kasha.
Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistle?
Keep reading.
Even so, even so, good trees beneath.
Bring it.
Well, Slaki. Even though good trees bringeth good fruit,
right?
But a corrupt tree bringeth evil fruit.
Understand this. This is how you know who is a wolf in sheep's clothing, man. Like, a good tree will bring you good fruit. If you got a good, healthy apple tree, what does that mean about the apples that fall from that tree? They're going to be good and ready. They're going to be good and healthy. If you got a rotten apple tree, a rotten peach tree, then what does that say about the fruit? Right. So it's someone that claims to be a man of God sit here and is allowing someone to be molested in their church, is allowing someone to embezzle money through the church, is allowing the abomination unto the Lord to be sold in his church. Is that a good tree, a healthy tree, or is that somebody that is evil and corrupt? You got to be able to see that, man. Stop trying to live the life that you want and live the life the Lord wants, man. Like, we have to stop. We have to make it uncomfortable for people to sin. That's how we know that we love the Lord. When we make it so uncomfortable for other people to sin, that sin no longer is being done. Like, that's how we know when we're doing the work. That's how we know. I don't want you to feel comfortable sinning around me. That makes me happy. That will make me happier than anything else, to make it where it's uncomfortable for you to sin around me. Drop that. We're going to go to Isaiah 33 and verse 6, man. Because there's a reason why we need all this. This is brotherhood right here. This is sisterhood. Everything that we're talking about today, like, you have to beware of your surroundings. You have to beware of who you listen to, man. Everybody want to listen to Joel Osteen, but Joel Osteen done told you he's not a man of God. He's a motivational speaker. He talks about prosperity, and what did y'all do? Y'all soak up all the prosperity that Joel Osteen has to give you, and y'all done bought him a mega church that used to be a basketball court. Used to be a basketball arena. Y'all done bought him this big mega church now. Y'all sitting here paying for it. Y'all done gave him so much money, he has enough money to put in the walls of the church in envelopes. Put it into the walls. Why? Because he's saying everything that you are okay with. He doesn't say anything that's controversial. He don't sit here and be like, you're not allowed to be in this church if you want to eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. You want to know why? Because he's not doing the will of the Father. Because he's a heathen. He's not sitting here talking against the LGBTQ community. He's not sitting here talking against abortions. He's not sitting here talking against selling drugs and being a drug dealer, or being a pimp and being a whore and selling your body. He's not talking against none of that. You want to know why? Because those are the people that's giving him all the money, and he's collecting it. And that's all he's happy about. But here in the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA, we teach against all those things. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather sit here and be poor and do the will of my Father than to sit here and be rich and do the will of the devil. That's what you got to understand, man. When you choose that narrow path to life, life is this, man. Go ahead and read that precept. Isaiah 33 and 6. Yeah, Isaiah 33, verse 6. Let me know once you get there.
Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stable of thine times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Understand this. When it comes down to wisdom and knowledge, it shall be your stability of the time, man. We all know what stability is, man. Stability. If you don't have any stability, what does that mean? If I'm not stable or if I don't have stability, what does that mean?
You're unbalanced, y'all.
Right. And we've been unbalanced and we've been off. When we were in the world, we were unstable, didn't have no stability. Here in the truth, you learned how to be stable and you gained the stability that you needed, man. That's the wisdom. You learned who you are. You learned how to be a priest and prophet, or how to be a daughter of Zion, or how to be a princess, or how to be a wife, or how to be a husband, or how to be a righteous child. We learned that here in the I.S.U.P.K, man. That is the knowledge and wisdom, man. The life we chose. We chose life over death. We chose to get out of the valley of the dry bones, out of death, and we chose to get into the light, man. We said it was enough with the darkness. And this is what we need, man. So when it says, and the wisdom and the knowledge shall be the stability of thy time and strength of the salvation, the fear of the Lord, the Most High, is his treasure. What are we fighting for? Why did we change our lives, man? You don't understand, when you decided to change your life, get into the I.S.U.P.K, follow the law, statutes, and commandments, you gain the treasure. You gain something way more than any dollar amount, man. You gain the protection of the Most High. You gained the opportunity to get the kingdom. Like, you gain brothers, you gain sisters. You gain someone that could be your counselor when you need it. You gain someone that can sit here and hear your problems no matter what time it is. You gain the treasure by following the Most High, by choosing him over choosing your flesh. That is your strength and your stability, man. Getting the wisdom and knowledge, following the law, statutes, and commandments, showing brotherhood, loving one another, loving the Most High God with all thy heart, mind, and soul, and also loving your brother the same way, man. Treating others as you would want to be treated. Let's go back to Matthew's. Go to Matthew's 5 and 30. Yeah. Because all these things this is what we need, man. This is the roadmap, the narrow path, man. We have to love one another. If you are Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, your job, your duty is to love one another as you will want to be loved, man. Show brotherhood, show sisterhood, love so much that that's the only thing that someone can see from you. I love my brothers so much, man, that I go to camp every week and put my life on the line for them. I tell my brothers all the time, we gonna fight over who gonna bite that bullet. Because I love you so much. If I have to die for you to make it home to your family, so be it. And every man that's under the banner of the I.S.U.P.K feels the same way. We gonna all fight for who gonna bite that bullet. Because none of us want to call, none of us want to make that phone call to no brother's rib saying your husband's not gonna make it home. I would hate to make that phone call when there's something I could have done to stop it. By me loving my brothers enough to be at camp could prevent somebody from thinking that, okay, this is my time to run up on this camp. Us having manpower, do you not understand, man? Loving one another enough to prefer being at the camp and doing the work of the Lord over chilling and laying back at home. Do you understand that right there is a deterrent from somebody from wanting to run up on your brothers? Like, demons don't like hearing the fact that the priests and prophets of the Lord is at camp. Demons don't like that. Demons do not want to hear the priests and prophets on them street corners. So if they go out and they only got 4 brothers, yeah, the 4 brothers can hold it down. The 4 brothers can protect each other. But yeah, they might have a problem that day. Because if it's 7 demons and 7 different people and only 4 brothers, the brothers doing the work of the Lord is outnumbered. But we all know the Lord is with us. But if you have brotherhood, it should never be 4 brothers showing up to a camp. Especially if you got more than 4 brothers that's in the city. Or more than 4 brothers that's in the surrounding cities that ain't too far away. At that point, we getting in the cars and we're caravanning. We're going to be like, hey, say, bro, y'all about to have camp today? Okay, y'all having camp on Friday? All right, we got camp on Saturday. All right, you know what, bro? You got 3 brothers. I got 4 brothers. You know what? How about y'all come down here? Can all y'all make it on Friday? All right, well, I'm having camp on Friday. So all y'all drive down here, drive an hour or 2 hours away and come down here on Friday. And what we're going to do is we're going to return the favor. We're going to drive up there. That's brotherhood. That's love, man. That's how you show love, man. Let's go ahead and read, man, because we can be in this all day long, bro.
Matthews 5 and 33, 32.
Matthews 5 and 30.
Oh, Matthews 5 and 30.
Right.
And if thy right hand offends thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it's profitable for thee that one of the members of thy members shall perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell.
Right. So what this is talking about right here, is, man, it is better for you, say for instance, and we're not telling you to literally cut off your hand, but we're talking about it is better for you to distance yourself. Say for instance, if I know for a fact, me and my partners, I got a bunch of partners that was in the world with me. These are the same partners I used to smoke weed with all the time, doing stuff we know we wasn't supposed to do all the time. But when I got into the truth, I couldn't still hang around them because they want me to do what they're doing. They don't want to hear the truth. Don't none of our partners in the world want to hear the truth. They like, man, hey, bro, you good on all that, fam. You ain't got, man, hit this blunt, man. You tripping. You keep talking about that, but hit this weed, man. Like, so what I ended up having to do is, like, even though I love my partners, I had to cut them off. I had to cut them off because at this point in time, they're not trying. They're trying to make me be like them. They're trying to push me back into my demon mode. They're trying to take me from being righteous. And that's just like what we all had to do, man. Look, when you want to become the person that the Most High wants you to be, sometimes you got to cut off the things that make you sin. So if that's being around partners, then you can't be around them partners. Maybe once you stronger in the truth, then you can go back around your partners, cut their demons, and bring them in if they want to be in the truth. But until you're strong enough, how about you stop being around them? Stop hanging around them, and you gain strength. Sometimes it's family members, because family members don't understand this truth. Sometimes your family members will be the people that's the most destructive to you. They'll tell you, hey, I've never seen you act like this before. I don't know who this is. You not my, like, sometimes they'll be like, you're not my son that I raised. The son that I raised, he knew better than to sit here and join some cult talking about 12 tribes of Israel. The son I know, the son that you knew was a drug dealer, a murderer, a pimp, a drug addict. That's the son you knew. The son that smoked a blunt right before he walked into the church, said, I want to be baptized, got baptized, then took the communion. Then as soon as he left out of the church, he went and fired right back up that same blunt. That's the child you raised. But the child that the Most High raised, the child that the commanding general YAHANNA and all the generals here in the I.S.U.P.K is breeding up, is a different man, is a man that decided to throw away everything to gain the Father. So, yeah, sometimes you're going to have to cut people off. You're going to have to cut off that old you to become the new you that the Most High can be proud of. So if that right hand is going to be offensive, cut it off. Because I'd rather cut off that rotten arm than to sit here and want to hold on to this rotten arm that's bringing it all the way up. Now it done got to my shoulder. Now it done got all the way through to my chest, to my other arm. And now I'm sitting here ready to die because I wouldn't just cut off. I wouldn't just put a tourniquet right here and cut this hand off so that way the rest of my body could live. You got to understand the circumstances and understand who you want to be, man. You either want to be with the Most High or you want to be with the love of everybody else. I'd rather be loved by the Most High than to sit here and be accepted by everybody else. And that's what we're fighting for. This is brotherhood right here. I love you enough to sit here and say it. Sit here and bring it to the forefront. Bring it to you right in front of your face. Because the Christian church is not going to do it. The Catholic church is not going to. Catholic synagogue, the Santeria, the Pope, the cobblestone. They're not going to do it. They're not going to sit here and bring this to you because they want you drained. They want you to let your whole body rot instead of tourniquet, cutting off what's dead, and moving forward. Learning how to multitask with just one arm, didn't have two arms. I got one arm, but I gained so much more. than me dying and not being able to be a brother to the next person that could learn from me. It is time for you to cut off those cancers, man. Like, just think about it like this, man. When you have cancer, what do you want? You want to do chemotherapy. You want to have surgery to cut the cancer out. And once you cut the cancer out, you don't want it to come back, right? That's what you need to do in the I.S.U.P.K. If you want the truth, straight shot, no chaser, get into the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander General YAHANNA. Get the truth. Get that cancer out of your body. Do your chemotherapy. Retrain your mind. Have that surgery to get the cancer cut out and live. That's the only way, man. Only way is for you to do it like that, to live. Go to Proverbs 17 and 17. Like, these things right here is so important. And the craziest thing is, out of all the years of us being in the Christian church, we've never heard this from the Christian pastors. We've never heard it from them. Why haven't you ever heard it from them? You've never heard it from them because they wanted you to do the will of their people, of their father, who is the devil, the deceiver, the great deceiver. But it's time for you to do the will of your Father, the Most High God. Go ahead and read that once you got it out.
Proverbs chapter 17 and 17.
Yep.
A friend loveth all the time.
A friend does what?
Loveth all the time. At all times.
A friend loveth at all times. See, when you was doing wrong, all your partners loved you for doing wrong. All your partners was happy when you was buying pounds of weed for you to roll up, and y'all matching, and y'all having a whole session that lasts for hours. You cooking food because all y'all got the munchies. You got liquor there because y'all all want to drink something because you got cotton mouth. Your friends loved you for that. Your friends loved you when you was hitting licks left and right. Your friends loved you when you was the one that, if they got a problem, I know for a fact I can call him and he'll pull the strap on this dude and clean his clocks, move out, have him laid out leaking. They loved you when you was doing all those wicked things. They loved you. Your family loved you when you was eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. Your family loved you when you was smoking cigarettes. Your parents loved you. Your family loved you because you were their child. You were their baby. They were your friends at that time. And a friend will love you at all times. Besides what? Keep reading.
And a brother is born for adversity.
Understand this, man. When you decided to change your life, they showed you that you was just a friend that they could lose. But here in the I.S.U.P.K, you gain brothers, you gain sisters, you gain family members that at all time has your back. They didn't come when everything was good and you was smoking weed and popping pills and you was Mr. Jigger Man, Mr. Syrup Sipper, Mr. Lean Man, Mr. Weed Blower. They sat here and told you to stop. And when you gain that brother and you gain that sister, you kept them because they was there for you through the adversity. They was there for you when you was going cold turkey. While you was trying to go to rehab to get away from being a drug addict, your brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K, we were there. They were there. When everybody else turned their back because you stopped eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, who was there? The I.S.U.P.K. We are there because we're your brothers. We love you beyond what you have. You can sit here and be big baller, have millions of dollars. We'll love you then. And you can go back to being poor and broke and we'll love you then too. because we're your brothers. We're not your friends that just love you when you're doing good. But when you got bad, then, we disappear. No, we love you at all times, man. That's why I say a friend will love you. Yeah, a friend loves you. I had a bunch of friends that said they loved me at all times. And when times got hard, I didn't have no friends. All them decided to, hey, bro, hey man, stuff hard right now. I can't deal. I can't come through right now. Shoot, man, y'all used to come through every day when I used to say, let's roll up, let's match. Now that y'all know I'm on this I.S.U.P.K, as y'all want to call it, this I.S.U.P.K stuff, this truth stuff, now all of a sudden you can't come through. Why you can't come through now? Oh, you was my friend as long as I was smoking weed. Once I stopped smoking weed, now I'm your partner from afar. Or you know what? Once I stopped smoking weed, these brothers right here, they came through. That's why you got brothers and sisters in the truth. We here no matter what. The only way for us not to be there for you is for you to turn your back on every brother and sister and decide that you don't care about nothing. You turn your back on your brothers. That's the only way for you to lose your brothers here in I.S.U.P.K. Let's drop that out. Let's go to John. Go to John 13 and verse 34. Because understand this, man. Brotherhood is checking you sometimes. Brotherhood is being that strength where you are weak. It's being that love when you don't feel like you're loved by anybody else. The love you looking for is not the love that you need at the time, man. Sometimes you need tough love when you're looking for emotional love. Sometimes you might need somebody to be emotional. You might need that emotional hug or something like that. And a brother or sister is there for you at all times. John. Yeah. But you got to understand that there's time and a place for everything. And y'all got to stop allowing these so-called friends that's only there when you doing good to come into your life and walk right out the door as soon as adversity comes. When the rough time comes, understand who keeps walking out of your life. Friends. Go to John 13 and 34. Understand that. Here you go. Go ahead and read verse 34. 13:34.
John, verse 13, 34. 34.
Mm-hmm.
A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, as I loved you, that ye also love one another.
Keep reading.
By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
And what color are these words in?
They are red. Sir.
Understand this. So who is talking at this point?
Most High, sir.
Christ is talking right
Christ,
now.
sir.
And he's letting you know right now, for you to love one another as he loves you. What did Christ do to show his love? Christ died for you. Because he was a perfect man. The wages of sin is what? Is death. Did Christ sin? So why did he have to die? He died because he loved us. He loved us so much, he put the burdens of our sins on his back and died for us. So you're telling me somebody can sit here and die for you, but you can't sit here and love your neighbor? You can't sit here and love your own brother, the 12 tribes of Israel? You can't love a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian? That's what you're telling me. How can you say that you love Christ? How could you say you love God? Like, that's one of the biggest questions that you could ask the Christian church. How can you say that you are a follower of Christ when you're doing everything that got Christ killed? How do you love Christ? Because what you're saying is you're the people that want Christ to come back and die again for you. Like, his sacrifice wasn't big enough for you to change who you was, to be something brand new, to be something great and glorious. His sacrifice wasn't good enough for you. Like, look, that's what the Christian church is saying. You know what? I am a follower of Christ, but your sacrifice wasn't good enough. You want to know how they're saying his sacrifice wasn't good enough? Because if you still eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, Christ's sacrifice wasn't good enough. That's what you think. Because you're proving it through your actions. You're proving it every time you bite into that pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, crawfish, catfish, tuna. Every time you bite into that, you are saying Christ's death wasn't good enough. Every time you are a pimp, anytime you're a whoremonger, anytime you are sitting here dealing drugs, on drugs, selling it, robbing, stealing, and killing, you are saying Christ's death was not good enough. You're saying, hey, man, I understand Christ died for my sins. And you know what? But this weed keep calling me. This weed, hey, man, that lean just keep calling and calling me. That crack rock keep calling me. I gotta snort this cocaine. I gotta have this heroin. I gotta rob and kill. I gotta rob and steal. I gotta have this pork. I gotta have this crabs. I gotta have this shrimp. Man, I could do everything, but man, not the shrimp, man. Let me have this shrimp. You're saying Christ's death wasn't important. I just want you to understand how much you're spitting in Christ's face, how much you're spitting in the Most High God's face. You're saying that their sacrifice wasn't good enough, man. Because if it was good enough, you would change yourself like the brothers and sisters here in the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA. But because you're not ready to do it yet, understand this: every day that you walk around not following the law, statutes, and commandments, you're saying that Christ's death wasn't good enough. Let's drop that out. Let's go to 1 John chapter 4, verse 17. 1 John chapter 4, verse 17. Go ahead and read once you have it. All right. Like, one of the biggest problems and one of the biggest things that we got to understand is for us to have brotherhood and sisterhood, we have to choose the Lord over our own selves. We have to choose the Most High over our pride. We have to choose life over death. We all had to go through the first death, man. And the first death was killing the old Jew. And that's something that some of us have to do every single day. There's a fight, man. Like, even as an officer of 5,000, we still have to fight demons. We still have to fight our old self. Now, it might not be the same demon or the same thing that we came into the truth with, but we all have something in us that we have to fight and check every single day. So don't think that you're done just because, oh, I'm in the truth now. Oh, nah, I'm done. I done already slayed all my demons. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Still fight. Still get counsel. Like, showing brotherhood, showing sisterhood will show you if you really dealt with all your demons. Because a lot of times when arguments come about, that's because there's a demon in the midst. And let's see who is the person that has it on them. Don't be the person that feel like you done and you're the one that got the demon on you, because that's clearly showing you that you're not done. You're not done, and you might want to humble yourself. Because if you humbled yourself, you would see that you still have work to be done, and you need to do it. You ready up? Okay, no sweat. If you need to, I can show you. Oh. No, it's no sweat at all. Like, yeah, it's all good, man. And like we always say, man, with brotherhood always helps. Brotherhood comes before anything else, man. Brotherhood and sisterhood, loving one another. Like, this is how the work gets done. The work cannot get done if we don't have brotherhood and sisterhood. And that's why we have a full day. We have a day for it. That's why we have Tuesday brotherhood scripture breakdown. Because that's something that's important. We got the generals class. Tuesday is the scripture breakdown class. Wednesday is the law class. Thursday is General Muhammad's class. Friday is the Lashawan Kodash class. So like Monday is the scripture breakdown and Black Watch with Commander General YAHANNA. Like, the reason why we have those days is because it's important. We gotta have brotherhood. We gotta know, we gotta have a scripture breakdown, and we gotta have a Black Watch to know what we need to watch out for. We gotta have the Tuesday brotherhood class because we gotta make sure that we always have brotherhood and sisterhood intact, especially as a family, especially as the 12 tribes of Israel, because that's the quickest way for us to be divided, is if we don't have brotherhood and sisterhood. Then Wednesday, we got to have a law class. The reason why we have to have the law class is because the law also helps with the brotherhood and sisterhood. We got to know what we're supposed to be doing. Once you got it, I'll go ahead and read.
1 John chapter 4, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Because as he is, so are we in this world.
Keep reading.
There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear.
Understand this, man. Where it says herein, as our love is made perfect. How is our love made perfect? Understand. How is our love made perfect? Just think about it. What is love according to the scriptures? What is love according to the scriptures? If we need to pull that, we can definitely pull that. I think it. Let me see. 1 John chapter, is it 3 or is it 5? Let me slide it. 5 and 3. Go to 1 John 5 and 3. No, matter of fact, yeah, 1 John 5 and 3.
5 and 3.
Yeah, we can go there.
1 John 5 and 3. For this is love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
So what is love according to the scriptures? So how do you make your love perfect? That means you do the law, statutes, and commandments, and you don't break them. That's important right there. It says, herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Why does it say, well, we may have boldness in the day of judgment? Is it saying be bold and be boastful in the day of judgment, or is it saying something else? Why does it say that we may be bold, we may have boldness in the day of judgment? Right, because
I gotta fear nothing.
Right, because you know when you are making your love perfect, that it's a little bit easier for you to breathe. Because you know, in your day of judgment, he's going to account for everything. But it's a little bit easier for you to breathe because you're like, okay, well, I know I used to do all this, but for the past couple of years, I've been following the law, statutes, and commandments and doing perfect. And so at least he might give me a little, mercy. But if you just know for a fact from start to finish, you just been sinning, you ain't gonna have you ain't gonna feel like no mercy is going to be brought upon to you. And it says, because as he is, so are we in this world. So who is he?
God.
And so if he is, so are we in this world, following the law, statutes, and commandments. Who followed the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly?
Right.
Who are we on this world trying to be like?
Right.
Exactly. So that's what we all are striving to be. We're trying to be perfect, so that way, when it comes down to Judgment Day, we can sit here and have something to account for on the good side, on the righteous side. All right? Go ahead, keep reading. There is no fear in love. 18.
Okay. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love.
Understand this. This is letting you know, if you are sitting here following the law, statutes, and commandments, you have nothing to fear. But if you're not following the law, statutes, and commandments, understand this. You do, and you will fear, because you don't know when. Like, when we was in the world, let's just be honest. When we was in the world, and for those that either did drugs or was a drug dealer, you were looking over your shoulders all the time. You and I'm gonna tell you for a fact, you were looking over your shoulders. Because when you drove in the car after you done picked up your work, or when you drove in the car after you done picked up your gram, and 5-0 pulled up behind you, they didn't even have to put on their sirens. They just pulled up right behind you. Everybody's stomach dropped. Be like, man, why these people behind me, man? Why man, they running my place. Man, bro, they about to pull me over. They about to see that I got a warrant out now, and I got some weed in the car, bro. Because you wasn't being perfect. Your love wasn't being perfected. That's what it is. So you fear. We don't fear now that we know that we don't have any drugs or anything illegal in the car. We don't have nothing to fear. Only thing now is we just fear the devil being a devil. But at the same time, we know the Lord is with us. So that stops all the fear right there. Because if you're going to do whatever you do, hey, man, do what you got to do. The Lord's with me. If the Lord says it's my time, it's my time. Understand this, man. We have to perfect our love. And the only way for us to perfect our love is getting into the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, following the laws, statutes, and commandments, being perfect, doing the work of the Lord, and doing His truth, man. And with that, let's see. We're going to say imagine, which means to stand. We're going to say soar, which means face to the east, turn the face to the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, then the English, all right? Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Latadalawa, Wakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalaknoa, Kabawaknoa, Kasalaknoa, Kabawaknoa, Wala'a, Tabaya'anawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Hanashanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wahala, Wahata Para, La'awalamu, Aman. In the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Sar, which means to face the front. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers, then the sisters. Men of Israel, Ma'am Shabbat, Ma'am Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatah, Ya'yam Masah, Sar, face the sister. Men of Israel, Ma'am Shabbat, Ma'am Barak, Yahweh Shamal Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ya'yam Masah, dismissed.
All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, this and that for life. I'm always for life, nigga, this a blood oath.